federal government says it's going to crack down on rising input costs, plus a lot of news on trade relations with China, and a lot more on today's episode of the Arkansas AgCast, which starts right now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
Well, hello, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good to have you both here, especially Matthew.
It's a Matthew show.
Hello. It's a Matthew show, which should always come with it, like an asterisk or something in the title, I think.
It's kind of like having a special at a restaurant,
Extra
you know?
fun. Yeah, well, just to tell you, we've been in this room for 30 minutes and just now have started recording because we keep talking about food,
Oof,
which is what Matthew does. But it's Thursday of the longest week ever. I was just sitting here thinking about this week. Seems like it has really crawled by.
I feel like the last few weeks have been like that for me.
Somebody told me last night the last 2 weeks of September felt like an entire month.
Could have,
and
I wouldn't disagree.
I thought, well, okay, yeah. I don't know what it is about that passage of time, how we all sort of collectively will feel that way about a week or a month or a year or whatever it is.
But, you know, they say the older you get, the quicker time goes by.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have weeks like that.
Weeks like that, yeah. You're right.
I don't know. I just think, you know, this time of year at the old bureau, it's usually nonstop, and you throw in farm economy issues and you know, government shutdowns and all that, and it just gets that much busier.
Yeah,
starting around end of July, it slowly starts to pick up.
Yeah. Well, as the elder in the room, I can tell you you're right. As you get older, time does fly by. But you're right. You're right too, Matthew. I mean, it's been busy. I mean, it's been very busy. The good news is people are paying attention to the farm economy.
That's true.
And the awful situation that farmers are in right now. I'm very glad for that. You know, the other side of that is it keeps the phone ring, keeps the phones hot, and we're doing a lot of work on that front. Yesterday,
we will continue to do so.
We had a national news outlet fly in and spend the day here yesterday covering the story of the farm economy. And it was wonderful to have the opportunity to help those folks tell the story of what not only Arkansas farmers but farmers all over the country are dealing with right now. And so anyway,
it's good to show that in real time. You know, that boots on the ground directly from a farmer on the farm.
Yeah,
and how that affects them.
Yeah, and to be able to do it during harvest was also, I think, extra impactful. We got to put the reporter on a combine and a tractor, and we had a breakdown on a tire at one point. And
it's life on the farm.
Yeah, but you know what? It really became part of the story.
Good.
Because she hopped out and just started filming on her iPhone because they were in the middle of a cornfield.
Mm-hmm.
But the farmer said, well, to fix this, it's going to cost X amount of dollars. And then he immediately related that to how many bushels of corn
that would take.
That's going to require.
Yeah. At
$4.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that was staggering, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, it was in the hundreds of bushels. So, anyway, that was interesting perspective and a great opportunity to.
And that brings reality to the show, to that piece too.
It really does.
That's every day.
Yeah.
And whether it's a grain cart, the tractor pulling the grain cart, combine, or at least the combine header didn't get choked up. And
yeah. Well, and it's not just the cost of the tire, but got to come out and somebody's got to come out and put it on.
Yeah.
Because you're in.
And we talk about it all the time. It's downtime.
Yeah.
That costs you money too.
Yeah, that's right. We're paying those guys regardless. You know. Anyway, so that's really important. That's kept us busy to the point about being busy. I don't know what really else has been going on. Even in I was looking earlier about the world of just what all was going on. Obviously, we'll talk about it here in a few minutes, but we're dealing with a government shutdown right now.
Yeah.
But on the lighter side of things, I don't really know. I guess college football is in full swing. Arkansas is going to get a new head coach.
Yeah, I thought I would probably lead with that today, but it has kind of eclipsed me.
Well, I just sort of jumped in and started talking. So
yeah, that's interesting to say the least. How
the return of Bobby P.
Yeah, it'll be interesting again to see how all this plays out.
Yeah.
You know, is he going to be able to turn the page a little bit with the way this team's playing right now?
Yeah.
Is he going to get the job next year? If he does, how does that look?
I did read that he certainly wanted it.
Oh, he definitely wants it.
How many wins does he have to get for it to be a worthy?
I don't know if it's a number of wins. I think it's a show that you've done a lot with very little. Not to knock down the players on that team, but they definitely didn't play very well last weekend.
Nope.
So, and plus he's coming in, that wasn't his team and that wasn't the culture he set. So he's having to revamp everything to some extent, and a whole new defense, leadership on the defensive side. So how do you get those guys back up and wanting to play, and especially the ones that came to play for Sam Pittman and those guys that got let go, those coaches that got let go? If you can do something with that, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would imagine if he didn't win a single game and lost all the rest of them,
yeah. I mean, and we don't have a pretty schedule throughout. So.
No, it's probably one of the hardest in the country.
So yeah, it's wild.
But it's very, very Arkansas fashion.
Yeah,
how all this turns out.
Yeah,
drama.
More drama, and then once it's over, we smile and say, "Man, we really respect what you did."
Yeah, my dad told me one time the most exciting thing about Arkansas football, the most exciting time in Arkansas football, is the new coach, coach
like a
search.
hire search. Yeah. Our coach search.
It's going to get
like
political.
The football itself isn't very exciting. We never do all that great, but when we look for a new coach, everybody's all ramped up.
Yeah. Well,
don't worry, my Red Wolves hit the bottom 10 this week.
Bottom
according
10?
to ESPN.
Well, we got to be right there with you.
They track that bottom 10,
I think we're like 130th.
Yeah. So
actually, there may only be 119 teams.
Yeah. So it's always a real shame when that happens. But not a great time to be trying to watch football in Arkansas. I'll say that. But it is a good time to be picking college football games, isn't it?
Yeah. So we still have our college football pick'em, and we are now in October, so that means we need to name a winner for the month of September.
Oh, yes. And we only do that here. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And they've got to be listening. I think one thing we need to determine is, do we give them another show? Do we keep on announcing their name for the next few weeks, or is it just this week?
Oh, yeah.
I give them at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think.
I'm up for whatever. I just think that needs to be defined.
I think if we haven't heard from them by the end of the next winter, then maybe we could move down.
Well, this was quite interesting how this month played out, because if y'all remember, Clay Bertrand was smoking everybody at number 1.
Oh, dude, all season. Yeah.
He must have missed 2.
Or all month, rather.
And somebody got those 2 right, because just this last week, Cliff 316
overtook him
by one game.
Oh my goodness.
Cliff with 34 wins, 16 losses, and Clay Bertrand 33 wins with 17 losses.
Oh,
so that puts Cliff at 340 points and Clay at 330.
Well,
10-point difference.
Congratulations.
Take the month of September.
Cliff. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Cliff, if you will reach out to me or Jason,
or comment when we post the podcast.
Yeah. Wherever you listen to it, make a comment, and we'll get with you and get you your prizes. Other interesting notes out of this month, particularly this last week, I dropped deep in the standings.
You did. What happened?
And Jason has continued to rise, and I was in the middle of no excuses of my son's birthday,
that means
and
a big
realized
excuse.
Somebody asked me about the Razorback game. I was like, oh no. I wasn't concerned about the Razorbacks. I just realized I didn't set my picks. It was like 11:30. So I think I got into it in time to make like 4 picks.
Yeah.
So that dropped me from like 4th or 5th all the way down to 13th.
Man, you're down there.
Yeah. Jason now sits at 5th. And anybody else, our peanut correspondents tied for 6th with Mark Morgan and a few other people.
I think I have forgotten to make picks the last 3 weeks, so I'm probably dead last.
Well, this is going to bring up an administrative question I'll ask in a minute, but y'all go ahead.
And then another shout out to Will Hopkins at 17th.
Yeah, Chase doing well.
He's batting 500 though. He's 20-20.
There you go.
Yeah. Where did the peanut correspondent? He's in that tied up for 6th place. I mean, I'm beating him by a place, so I'll just brag on that.
Look, I have the issue of I always want to go for the Cinderella stories, and this team, there's no way they win. But if I get it right,
I did pick Ole Miss.
There you go.
In the upset.
See, I did not pick Ole Miss.
Old Lane Kiffin, I just figured he was going to pull it off.
He's got some magic, man.
And they were in Oxford too, so that helped.
The thing about picking the upsets every time, though, is that, you tend to lose most of the games.
It's true.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, anyways, Cliff316, remember, comment on our post, and we'll get with you and get you your prizes. You have, by the end of next week, the next show to do so?
No, I think we're going to do 2 weeks.
Or 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so 2 more
weeks.
shows, not including this one, right?
The 10th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a few other things I wanted to go through.
Real quick, can I ask a question about that? Do we reset now? Because I think it would be, how do we reset? Like, I don't want to kick everybody out who's in there, but I'd like to reset the points. So it's a level playing field.
I'd have to start a whole nother group, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Or I had to keep it by hand, and sorry, that's
okay.
It's a lot of admin.
Because it's kind of a bummer if you miss. Like, there's almost no way you're going to catch up.
Clay could take. I mean, look.
I'm just saying, like, you missed this week.
Yeah,
like,
but that's my own
fault. Ever catch up?
I could, and if all of y'all decide to forget 1 week.
Okay, all right. Well,
but all these people, I mean, all y'all are separated by Cliff and Clay are separated by 10 points.
Yeah.
The next person on the third separated by 30 points from the leader.
Okay.
So it could swing pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you.
But
that's fair.
I don't know. Clay's pretty strong at what he does, apparently.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
So,
all right. What else you got?
I want to remind everybody of the Arkansas Farm Trail. If you're any farmer out there that sells direct to consumers and you grow and sell a product on your farm, we have the Arkansas Farm Trail registration open for farmers until October 17th. And you can find that registration on arfarmtrail.com. The purpose of the program is to promote local foods and the farmers who produce that food, as well as teaching consumers and citizens of the state of Arkansas where their food comes from, because we all know some people, or a lot of people, are a little bit disconnected from production agriculture.
Yes.
So again, you have till October 17th, and if you have any questions about that program or how to sign up, if it's not working right or something, please email me john.mcminn@arfb.com.
Yeah.
And I will say, even if you aren't, you're somebody who's like, well, my farm doesn't fit that. We shot a very fun promo with John last week at Holland Bottoms. So tomorrow, get on Facebook and look out for that promo.
Oh, I need to see that. I'll have to do that because
it's good. It's probably the best one so far. It's real cute.
It's pretty cute.
It's real cute.
I can't believe that you're in something that was cute.
I'm wearing a cute shirt.
Oh, you are? I love that.
Just doing all the cute things out there.
Was makeup on set?
No. Unfortunately, they weren't there.
Oh, okay. They took one look at it and said, "This is too much work."
They were like, "No, you're good, buddy. You look great."
Oh, yeah, that's what I'd expect them to say.
Yeah, I think it was a shirt.
Tip top.
Yeah, the shirt really helped.
Oh man, the shirt. There seems to be something there, so I can't wait to see this.
Another thing that comes with the program is what I think Matthew also was leading our social media account this past year. That was the first year of the Farm Trail this past season. We highlight all the farms that are on the Farm Trail. So you get a lot, as a farm, you get a lot of promotion, a lot of marketing just from our illustrious PR department. And they do a really, really good job. They help you tell your story. So go and check some of those videos out. There's some really good ones on there. They're all really good. But we also have, individuals such as myself showing off their expertise on the camera. So if you want to see that, get a good laugh.
If Brian was over there, he'd be commenting right now. I'll just get to you that. He'd say, "Oh boy."
Yeah. So
he works
17th.
McMinn for his PR work. He does the amount we expect for the salary we pay him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That much.
Well, I will say, to your point though,
I pushed
about
the needle. I should say that
about
Yeah,
our
there you go.
social media channels. I mean, we have 43,000 followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
So and so you're gonna get, you're gonna get publicity through those followers. I mean, you're gonna get all that as part of your, and all you gotta do is have a $40 membership.
Yeah. That's the other thing I
so,
didn't
I mean-
mention is that it doesn't cost anything other than a membership to Arkansas Farm Bureau, which is annually $40. You're getting a heck of a value in what the signage and the marketing material, promotion material that PR department does, as well as all the swag that goes with it: T-shirts, koozies, stickers, blah 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 blah. So
arfarmtrail.com.
arfarmtrail.com.
Go.
October 17th. Sign up.
Apply. How's it been so far? Not to put you on the spot.
We get a few
Has there been some interest?
every week since we opened.
Okay.
Which was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, and then also I should mention, if you were in the farm trail last year as a farm, we do need you to sign up again.
Oh, good to know.
Those farms will automatically be
Accepted.
accepted in the 2026 season, but we're using a different sign up software, so we want to make sure we have you in the system. So please, you all have already received an email, a text. You'll probably receive more from me, but please go ahead and sign up again, and we'll get ready and prime for next season. Again, this is an application process. We're expanding to a certain size this year, and we'll continue to do so every year.
Okay.
And we're going to try to focus on products that are being offered, so that we have a diverse product offering within the program, as well as regionality. I'd really like to fill in those corners of the state that we don't have anybody present in right now.
Okay.
So,
well, I know you mentioned, because we probably need to get on with it a little bit. You mentioned wanting to talk a little bit about government shutdown and ag impact on that.
Yeah. So this came across my desk today. I do not have a story written on it because it literally came up as I was about to walk down here. So if it sounds like I'm reading an article, I kind of am. Or legitimately, yes, I am.
Sure.
So as we all know, the government has shut down, I think, for the first time since 2018, if I'm right. This, this will cause delays in payments that farmers should or would have been expected under several commodity conservation and aid programs. So all told, USDA will furlough 42,256 employees out of 85,907 total employees across the department. So the employees that will be remaining are classified as necessary to protect life and property, who most of those employees remaining will be at the U.S. Forest Service, the Food Safety and Inspection Service, and the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. The Farm Service Agency, or FSA, they're going to furlough 6,377 staff in county offices across the country. FSA will stop processing payments under the Emergency Commodity Assistance Program, or ECAP, and the Supplemental Disaster Assistance Program, as well as payments under ARC/PLC and the Conservation Reserve Program, or CRP. And then USDA had announced the final $2 billion in ECAP payments would go out to farmers this week. However, it's unclear if those deposits were made before the Wednesday shutdown. Also, to go on a little further, all FSA farm loan activity is halted as well, from processing to closing loans and signing off on guaranteed loans or lines of credit. I've got a lot of other information here. It kind of goes into the specifics of each department and who, how many people they're letting go. But that's kind of the gist of it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
If you're expecting any of those services or assistance payments through any of those programs, be expecting that may not come due to the shutdown anytime soon until they open everything back up.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Just looking at some government shutdown stats here that I guess that involve furloughs, but it's happened 11 times. The first time was in 1980, and that only affected the Federal Trade Commission, but 3 times since 2018.
3 times.
So,
3 times since 2018?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was wrong.
So the first time was, it could be that I've got incorrect information. 2018 in January, and then 2018 into 2019, and then this one. That's
okay.
ongoing.
I figured out where I got my 2018 number. So twice in the past 12 years, October 2013 and January 2018, USDA suspended the release of the WASDE report. So that's where I got that number I was talking about.
Matter of fact, if this goes on into next week, as we segue into the next part of the show, we will not be able to have harvest.
Yeah.
Reporting.
So that this article kind of goes in that too. Any economic reporting you get from NAS or the Economic Research Service, all that's going to be halted too.
Yeah. So this may be the last, depending on how long the shutdown lasts, this may be the last harvest progress and quality report that you hear. Speaking of that, let's get into it, and then we'll move into news.
Yep.
Looking at corn, which I happened to be in a cornfield yesterday, as I mentioned earlier, we are at 96% harvested across the state, and of course, no quality reporting because we're over the 50% mark on harvesting. Not this week. Last year, we had harvested 94% of the crop. We're still pretty well ahead of the 5-year average, which is 88%.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at rice, we are behind corn, of course, a little bit there. 79% of the state's rice crop has been harvested. This week last year, we were ahead by about 5%. We were at 84% harvested. But still, we're still ahead of the 5-year pretty good. The 5-year average is 70% for this time of year. Soybeans, we do have a condition report here. I assume that it's not 628% of the crop is good to excellent. Like
that's what it says here.
Yeah. So 62% of the crop is rated good to excellent, with 36% of that crop being being good to poor, or fair to poor rather. On the harvest benchmark, 44% of this year's crop has been harvested. The 5-year is 31%. So well ahead of that. But this time last year, we were at 45%. So holding pretty close to pace with last year. Cotton, 72% of the crop is looking good to excellent. Our Arkansas cotton crop continues to look pretty strong.
Yeah.
27% of that crop fair to poor. We are at the 10% harvest mark on cotton right now. Last year at this time, we were at 19%. But the 5-year average is right where we are. 10%.
I got to ride in a cotton picker yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the staff tour, but I hope that was a good time.
It was.
I hated to miss
We got
that.
to see the cotton gin as well as the peanut
Shelling
facility. Not the shelling facility.
Okay.
They just take in peanuts and then they take
the buy point.
Yeah.
So it's different than the one.
Yeah, it's
Up
where
north.
they drop peanuts off and then they eventually make their way to Jonesboro.
Yeah, they drop them off and Mariana cleans them, and then they send them up to.
Have you been to that one up there?
I have not. I missed it last time.
You need to.
Yeah. But anyways, it was all really cool. We got to see peanuts being harvested as well as got to ride a cotton picker. So it was pretty cool.
Cotton picker is fun.
Yeah.
I saw 2, snow fields yesterday on my way back, and it took all I had to not pull over and pluck a little cotton boll out of there.
You trying to get some front porch decor?
No, it's just kids don't get to see that stuff. So like I brought home a couple of soybean stalks. I brought home a couple of ears of corn.
Yeah.
Just for Maryland to see and show friends if they come over or whatever. But I didn't have any cotton. So have you been to the place in Jonesboro?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I was going to say.
I was going to try and arrange us a private AgCast tour if anybody's listening.
I don't think the, yeah.
We need
Give us a call, Delta Peanut. I was going to say, though, on your point about picking a cotton boll or anything like that, please
don't
wait.
do that.
Please wait until the field has already been harvested.
That's why I didn't stop.
If it is an empty field and there's 1 or 2 on the side that didn't get picked, feel free.
chances are you can find one on the ground.
You can
That's
find
what
one
I
on the
would have
ground.
been looking for.
Yeah.
But neither of these fields have been harvested, and this is why I kept going.
Yeah.
Plus private property.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
if there would have been a farmer out there, I would have stopped and said, "Hey, if you got something extra." But,
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Well, we did a thing about this a couple of years ago about family photos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because, a lot of people will like to take photos, rice field, cotton field, whatever that may be. And, some just general rules of thumb. No. Yeah, you got to ask for permission. If you do, you're likely to be told yes.
Yeah.
But you can't just walk out there onto somebody. You wouldn't want somebody walking in your backyard taking family photos, would you?
Not at all.
Okay. So
they probably wouldn't either.
What?
So they probably wouldn't either.
Well, you don't know that. I might have a shoot scheduled there next week.
We got a little John Deere Fisher Price tractor out there. You can take.
Heck.
Oh, that's what I'll do. I'll sit on that.
We're ready to go. Tony won't miss it when I break it.
Speaking of peanuts, that crop also continues to look great. I mean, 75% of that's good to excellent. Another quarter fair to poor. Harvest numbers there, 11% of that crop is harvested. Did you get to see peanut harvest yesterday?
I did. Yeah.
So you now have a really good understanding of what dug means.
Yeah. So they were already dug.
Uh-huh.
They were picking them up when we were there.
It's dusty business.
It's dusty, but I forgot how slow that process is. I don't know what I would do in that tractor.
Yeah. What do you think? 2.5, 3 mile an hour?
I don't know. I almost could walk faster than that.
Yeah. That's really saying something.
Excuse me.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. Anyway, 11% of the crop is is harvested. 25% of the crop is dug. Last year we were at 11% harvested, just like we are now. 5 years, 8%. So we're still ahead of that. And lastly, wrapping up with pasture land quality reporting, 22% of pasture land, good to excellent, really, really not good. Fair to poor, 60% of the crop. So that wraps up the quality and harvest progress reporting. Maybe the last time for a little while, but we'll see.
Maybe. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. You're exactly right. Well, you want to get into it?
Yeah, we might as well. That's why we're here.
Yep.
So big moves this week out of Washington. 2 major announcements from USDA and the Department of Justice that could reshape both competition and ag markets, as well as provide fresh relief for U.S. producers. So let's take a look at what that kind of means for farmers and ranchers.
Okay.
The first announcement came on September 26 when USDA and the Department of Justice Antitrust Division signed a new memorandum of understanding focused on competition enforcement and agriculture. The goal here is to strengthen oversight across everything from seed and fertilizer to farm equipment and fuel. The agreement creates regular consultation channels between the agencies, sets up safeguards for sensitive information, and requires USDA to check in with Department of Justice before making any public moves that could possibly affect active investigations. The DOJ officials stressed that farmers deserve transparent, competitive markets, while Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins tied the initiative directly to high cost of doing business in agriculture today. So those costs are staggering, of course. According to USDA's Economic Research Service, since 2020, seed expenses are up 18%. Fertilizer costs have climbed 37%. Fuel and oil are up 32%. Farm labor, check this out, 47%.
Wow.
And interest expenses have spiked an eye-popping 73%.
Goodness.
Rollins noted that USDA is working with the Department of Labor and Homeland Security to reform the H-2A program, which is good news, which remains one of the most expensive labor options available to U.S. farmers and ranchers. The broader message, the administration plans to hold input suppliers accountable while looking for regulatory relief that can give producers more breathing room. Alongside the antitrust announcement, USDA rolled out a massive round of international food assistance purchases totaling $480 million. That package splits evenly between the McGovern-Dole International Food for Education and Child Nutrition Program and Food for Progress. The McGovern-Dole portion will support 6 projects moving over 56,000 metric tons of U.S. food overseas, 50% more than last year. Food for Progress will ship 361,000 metric tons, a 12% increase, with the proceeds earmarked for developing overseas markets. Rollins emphasized that these programs aren't just about aid, They're also about supporting American farmers by creating outlets for U.S. commodities. So there's also a trade promotion angle. Rollins spotlighted the American First Trade Promotion Program, a new effort born out of the One Big Beautiful Bill, which provides $285 million annually to expand U.S. ag exports. Combined with the food assistant purchases, this creates a dual-track approach, helping global food security while shoring up demand for American-grown commodities. The USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service will provide more detail once contracts are finalized, but for now, the message is trade promotion and aid go hand in hand with farm support, according to USDA. Finally, last little tidbit here, USDA highlighted its ongoing domestic relief efforts. Since March, the department has distributed $8 billion in emergency aid payments to over 560,000 farmers, and this week an additional $2 billion is being released under the Emergency Commodity Assistance Program. That may change with the government shutdown, though.
Yeah.
Rollins stressed that while relief is flowing, challenges remain between debt, volatile markets, and stubbornly high input costs. Producers are still under pressure. The combination of antitrust enforcement, food aid purchases, trade promotion, and direct payments is meant to provide stability both at home and abroad. As Rollins puts it, and I quote, "The success of our farmers is a national security priority, and these steps are designed to keep U.S. agriculture strong in the face of rising costs and global uncertainty." So it seems like there's some good effort or good news from USDA and some other agencies to kind of alleviate some of these financial burdens and pains that we're all feeling right now in the ag industry.
Yeah, and a topic that we've heard come up in some of these farmer meetings and conversations along the way. So, meaning high input costs and is a major contributor to what we've got going on. Well, let's talk a little bit about trade issues as that also relates to the farm economy. Yeah. We've talked a lot about trade and China as it relates to row crops, it seems, but this story really grabbed my attention because it moves away from row crops and into the U.S. beef exports conversation. Chinese trade data show a dramatic collapse in U.S. beef exports to China this summer, down to just over $8 million in July and $9 million in August, compared to more than $118 million in the same months last year.
Wow.
So that's $110 million, if you do the math. Meanwhile, Australia has stepped into the gap, with monthly shipments to China climbing from around 140 million to more than $220 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Several factors are driving this shift, according to the article. Earlier this year, China allowed permits at hundreds of U.S. meat facilities to expire, which effectively shut out many American exporters. At the same time, drought has reduced the U.S. cattle herd, something very familiar to our audience, which has raised costs and cut beef supplies. And Australia has a competitive edge. Their grain-fed beef is similar to the U.S. product, which has made it a ready substitute in the premium market for China.
Competition.
Industry leaders say the challenge runs deeper than supply, though. Trade tensions between the U.S. and China are a major factor, and many believe it will take diplomatic progress before American beef can again regain ground there. Even then, analysts warn it could take years to rebuild market share that has already shifted toward Australia. In addition to growing the trade relationship with Australia, China has also increased its exports from its number one beef supplier, Brazil. So,
man, that's unfortunate to say the least. One thing that concerns me the most is it's harder to keep a market than it is to lose it. Or I should reverse that and say it's incredibly easy to lose a market.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get it back.
Yeah.
So no pun intended, but if their beef is up to the quality as ours is, and they get a taste of that.
Yeah.
And you would imagine from Australia to China might be a little cheaper transportation-wise, geographically, maybe.
What starts having to happen is we've then got to make you got to think we got to make some concessions to get that. I mean, they're not just going to come back just because, hey, we got the market, we've got the quality, why would we come back to you?
Everything's working right now with this new plan.
Yeah. So Interesting to see too that they have increased their exports from Brazil on the beef side, just like they have row crop.
I'd be curious to see what like quality reports of beef from Brazil is.
Yeah.
You know,
don't know.
I would imagine. I don't know. I don't know anything about either two countries' beef production.
I know we talked about them a little bit with the egg situation.
Yeah.
With avian influenza and how the standards were much lower, but I have not read into that on quality of soybeans or beef. So
I would imagine
I don't know.
Australia is pretty high quality.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was thinking about Brazil.
I'm thinking about both.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll definitely want to keep an eye on that one
Yeah.
for sure, especially with these inventory numbers the way they are. So, let's just go ahead and step away from the news for a minute to hear about Farm Bureau health plans of Arkansas.
Yep.
Kyler saved $300 a month with a health plan from Arkansas Farm Bureau. Watch to hear his story.
I got a call saying that my plan was going to be canceled at the end of April. I really was kind of in panic mode to try and find a new health plan. Me being young and having 2 young kids at home, health insurance is vital for us. Got on the phone with Farm Bureau and I got in touch with an agent. It took me about 30 minutes, and then about 3 days later, I was approved, ready to go, whole family. I took a deep sigh of relief. So with Farm Bureau Health Plans of Arkansas, I'm saving close to $300 a month. You cannot find this plan anywhere else. Get after it and get it.
Farm Bureau Health Plans of Arkansas. Trusted coverage, personalized plans, affordable premiums. Learn more at arfbhealthplans.com.
In case y'all were just dying to hear more about China, you're at the right place. But this time we're going to talk about soybeans related to China. So as China being the world's largest buyer, any shift in their policy or demand sends ripples across the market, and the latest USDA update out of Beijing gives us some clues about what's ahead. So let's start with the big picture. The USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service office in Beijing is reporting that China may import some U.S. soybeans in the first half of the 2025-26 marketing year. But the tone of the report makes it clear that buyers are hedging their bets. Industry contracts in China expect some sort of agreement could be reached to allow unlimited U.S. volumes, but they're actively preparing for other scenarios given the ongoing trade dispute, like Jason mentioned earlier. The 23% tariff on U.S. beans is the sticking point, and it makes them pretty much uncompetitive against South American supplies in the open market. That's why we haven't seen a single purchase from China since May, and as of September 11th, there still weren't any new crop U.S. soybeans booked from China. The forecasts highlight this uncertainty, of course. USDA's official number has China importing 112 million metric tons of soybeans in 2025 and 26. But the FAS post in Beijing is sticking with a more conservative 106 million tons. And that difference matters. It reflects not just trade tensions, but Beijing's broader strategy to cap import growth. Crushing demand is only expected to rise about 2%, which is much slower than in past years, and the government continues to pressure state-owned crushers to run domestic soybeans, even though those beans cost more and are harder to move from the northeast growing regions to the southern demand regions or centers. On top of that, China may lean on its state reserves, auctioning off soybeans at a faster pace to reduce reliance on imports, though so far this year those auctions have been limited and uptake has been pretty much weak. On the production side in China, domestic soybeans are getting a small boost. China's harvest is forecast at 19.9 million metric tons, which is incredibly small compared to us or Brazil. It's up slightly, though, on a favorable weather in the north and a modest increase in planted area. That's still nowhere near enough to cover their needs, however, but it does underscore Beijing's policy push to grow more beans at home. Meanwhile, crushing demand for soybeans is steady at 101 million metric tons. The driver here is price. Soybean meal has gotten cheaper, which makes it more attractive for feed rations. That's expected to keep crushers running at a pretty strong pace in the second half of 2025, even as the government tries to push the industry away from high mill inclusion rates. So that policy goal is worth underscoring as well. China's Ministry of Agriculture has targeted a gradual reduction in soybean meal use, cutting inclusion rates from 14.5% in 2023 down to 13% in 2025. If they pull that off, it could trim almost 9 million tons of demand for soybean meal, which would ripple back to crush demand and overall soybean imports. But low prices right now are working against that target, encouraging feed producers to keep using more meal. This tug-of-war between government policy and market economics is shaping up to be one of the key themes in China's soybean outlook.
That's interesting.
So finally, to wrap this up, when it comes to soybeans used for food, the numbers are slipping a bit. Forecasts put 2025 and 26 food use soybeans at 17 million metric tons, 500,000 less than last year. That drop is linked to declining prices for meat products, which undercut soy-based protein alternatives. At the same time, demographic shifts are adding complexity to China's population, which is aging, slowly shrinking, and continuing to urbanize. Those forces create competing consumption patterns, with older rural populations still leaning more on traditional soy foods, while younger urban populations are shifting diets toward more meat and processed foods. So taken together, these factors remind us that China's soybean story isn't just about trade disputes, tariffs. It also, it's about policy and demographics, and also the way consumer demand is evolving inside the country. So not only do we have the tariff issue, the policy issue, or the shift in where China's buying from, but they've kind of got their own issues inside their own country within their own population.
That's really interesting. I love hearing things like that because it gets sort of into the greater picture, the cultural or anthropological
They're kind
sort
of
of
like shifting away from even consuming soybeans.
Yeah. And it sort of reminds me of conversations we've had on the show before around, I'll say, specialty crops, just because that comes to mind. But, I think you made this point, and I think about this quite often when the topic of specialty crops comes up.
You think about me a lot? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's it. No, I think about your genius a lot. But,
Thank you.
think about just 2 or 3 generations ago, you ate the vegetables or the produce that was in season.
Yeah.
So if it was summer, you ate tomatoes. Guess what you didn't do in February?
Eat tomatoes.
You didn't eat tomatoes in
Yeah.
February, really. And unless you canned them and put them up,
Yeah, that'd be the only way.
But what happened is American diets, we want a tomato year round.
Demand, yeah.
Or strawberries year round,
Yeah.
And so that, of course, pushed us to lean on exports, or imports rather, from other countries. This sort of reminds me of that similar thing. We urbanized in America, and diets shifted.
Yeah.
And it calls us. This kind of reminds me of that. I mean, it's not apples to apples, but that aging population, which relied more on a soy-based diet, they're leaving the planet.
Yeah.
And the people who are coming up behind them like the more, what I'll say, Western diet, a meat-based, animal protein-based or processed food-based even.
It makes you kind of think.
It's interesting.
If you're urbanizing and people are shifting towards more urban areas, is that fast-paced life, has that sped up? And so your eating habits, the demand for access to food is like quicker, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you leaning more on processed food because your life is sped up to some extent compared to rural areas where you have a lot more time to prep that food? And
access.
access,
Brandy
yeah.
Carroll on your team was talking yesterday to me and said she grew up 25 minutes from the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you grow up 25 minutes from the grocery store, imagine how far you are away from the nearest drive-through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you don't have access to that, you kind of deal with what you got.
Yeah. I had a roommate one time that you wouldn't expect it, but he was an amazing cook. No offense to you, buddy, but yeah. But anyways, he was an amazing cook. I asked him, I was like, where'd you learn how to cook? He's like, I grew up in southern Arkansas, but we didn't have a Mickey D's down the street.
Yeah.
If you wanted to eat, you cooked it yourself.
Yeah. So anyway, that sort of cultural shifts in how it impacts the supply and demand market is really interesting to me. But anyway, all right. Well, as we wrap up the news for today, I've got an update on the New World screwworm that has been making its way north through South and Central America really all summer. Now Mexico has confirmed a new case of New World screwworm, and it's just 70 miles from the U.S. border, which is a development that has serious implications for livestock producers across the Southwest and beyond. And I'll just stop and give ourselves a pat on the back. If you have ever wondered, how are these stories just random, how they come up with these stories, we talk about New World screwworm, which talks about cattle inventory, which goes right back to the trade relations stories that we just discussed, and so on and so forth. So sometimes we act like we know what we're doing around here.
Yeah, sometimes.
But anyway, Mexico's Agricultural Health Agency confirmed the case in Sabinas Hidalgo, Nuevo León.
Good job.
Well, thank you. I've been taking Duolingo all year. The infected animal was an 8-month-old cow that had recently been moved into a certified feedlot from southern Mexico, where screwworm is already active. That movement highlights how animal transport can facilitate the spread and why cross-border surveillance and biosecurity are critical. For now, points of entry remain closed for imports of cattle, bison, and horses from Mexico. Meanwhile, the USDA has put in place a 5-part plan to prevent any incursion. That includes thousands of active traps across Arkansas, across Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico. Of course, that new sterile fly dispersal facility that's under construction in Texas. $100 million committed to research and technology, extensive education and outreach for veterinarians and producers, and close international coordination with Mexico's response teams. Producers are urged to be vigilant, watch for wounds that won't heal or lesions that drain or enlarge. Screwworm larvae often enter through wounds and body openings, including ears, nose, and other areas. If you suspect an infestation, contact your state animal health official or USDA immediately. Humans can also be affected, so medical attention should be sought if you've got any concern about yourself. Although here in Arkansas, we're distanced from the border, it's important to remain vigilant because these pests really don't respect boundaries.
No.
Of course, we'll continue to monitor the story, report more as it comes available. We've done that really for the last several months.
Yeah.
So wanted to bring this to you as well. 70 miles from the U.S. border is the closest we've gotten.
70?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I heard that number the other day, and I wasn't sure if I didn't fact check it, so I hadn't been repeating it yet.
Well, that's what I'm doing for you now.
I've heard it twice now, so I think it's true.
There you go. Well, Matthew, that wraps up this slugfest. It was quite a long news show.
It's your turn to talk.
Yeah, it's my turn to do the thing that we're doing here, the talking.
Yeah, please.
Well, and maybe a little bit lighter news. I feel like lots of not super exciting, happy stories today. Arkansas Food Hall of Fame, this last week did its big award show and all that, and named its winners for the year. They named finalists early in the year, but then around end of September, they always name their winners.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to just highlight the 3 winning restaurants. They have multiple categories that we could go into, but just looking at those 3 restaurants that have been have now entered the Food Hall of Fame, the Arkansas Food Hall of Fame. Throw out one of them for you guys. Hometown for us is K Hall and Sons.
Yeah, buddy. Congrats to those guys.
Yeah, if you've never been to K Hall and Sons, it's South Little Rock, just a little south of Central High.
Yeah.
It's been a long time place. I couldn't even tell you when it's got started, but
they got a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. You can buy some fresh produce. You can buy meats, cheeses, and that. But then also they have their hot plate restaurant, cheeseburgers. I think I've had a pork chop sandwich there before. That was very good.
Don't they do a seafood bowl on the weekends or something?
Yeah, they do seafood boils. It's very good. Southern cooking.
Expect to stand in line though.
Yeah, it's a line.
Poppin'.
And you are going to show up and be maybe a little bit confused about how you're supposed to go about things, but just kind of watch the crowds. You'll figure it out.
And they'll tell you what to do if you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. They're efficient there. I think that's the nice thing to say is they're efficient, but it's good food.
Yeah.
You'll eat a burger and fries and be in a food coma the rest of the afternoon.
That sounds awesome.
Yep.
I've already had a cheeseburger this week though. So.
This month I was about to be like, man,
yeah.
I have a weekly cheeseburger.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, so that was one of them. That was our hometown pick. One that I think a lot of our farmers in the Dumas area will know is Taylor Steakhouse.
Ooh, yeah,
got in. Taylor Steakhouse. I mean, it's always been in the list of best steakhouses in Arkansas. They very plain, and I mean that in a positive way. I mean, there's no frills. You go in there, you get yourself a good steak, seasoned really well, and not much more you can say. Steak and potatoes. It's good stuff.
I'm with you, Matthew. Like, you go to some restaurants and they have like a Louisiana seasoned or Diablo steak or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
8 kinds of butter you can get.
No.
Salt,
Stop
pepper, cooked perfectly,
Maybe some garlic.
Maybe some garlic butter, but
yeah,
I've always enjoyed Taylor's Steakhouse when I've been in that area for dinner, and wanted to stop in there. And the last one that I've always found very aesthetically pleasing is the Ohio Club in Hot Springs.
Yeah.
They've been around since I think 1905, so 120 years.
Yeah.
It's the oldest bar in Arkansas. Is that right?
So it's the bar structure.
The bar structure
is
the
oldest.
Bar
structure.
Yeah.
The actual physical bar.
The physical bar and the behind.
Yeah, the glass behind the mirror.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
And it was shipped in from Europe.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah. So you definitely look at it and you say, wow, this is an incredible, establishment. And you think, the OG.
Yeah.
Mr. Capone, he was eating there, and baseball players, Babe Ruth, very just historically, very cool. Meaningful place. And
beautiful floor in that place.
Beautiful floor. I know some people might hear bar and all that, and there are some folks who would be turned off by that, but I'll just say it's a great restaurant too. Yeah. Good burgers. Good.
Yeah, they got a whole slew of different burgers.
Slew of food. You don't feel like you have to go in and get a cocktail. You can go in and just get food.
Yeah. It's right on the strip.
It's right on the strip.
Right across from Bathhouse Road.
Yeah.
For our folks, we'll be there for state convention in Hot Springs this year.
We'll be there for resolutions as well.
Resolutions.
As convention, yeah.
So maybe an option for you if you've never been. It's definitely worth the stop. So that's all I had for this week. It's cool that the Arkansas Food Hall of Fame exists and that they're out there trying to promote restaurants and places that have been around for a long time.
Yeah, that's a good program.
Totally agree. But now I have to ask.
Okay.
Of those 3,
which
have you all been to? How many of those have you been to of the 3?
I've been to all 3.
I've been to all 3. You have?
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to tell you I've not been to Taylor's.
Okay. I mean, I do feel like you need to be in the Dumas area at dinner. So it's
there
kind
used to be rumor of like a limo or something that would come and pick you up if you were in Little Rock. I have no clue if that was true or something. I
know people that have done that before.
But have they really like rented something to go down?
But like to your offense, I think Matthew's saying the same thing. He's like, no offense to Dumas or the area, but us being in Little Rock.
It's a
that's
drive.
why you'd have to go down there.
Yeah.
You'd be going down there to eat there specifically.
Yeah.
And you might doze off driving back. Full on that delicious steak.
Good. That's why you need somebody to drive you in a limo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's what you need to do, Jason. What county is Dumas in?
It's in Deshay.
Deshay County. You need to do the Deshay annual meeting one of these years and go try some Taylor's Steakhouse because you're already going to be down there around dinner time.
They're only open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. See, I know all this about them, but I haven't.
Dry-aged steaks too, buddy.
Yeah. So I need to give that a shot.
But it's good stuff.
Well, thanks for that. I loved hearing all that. And goodness, so every once in a while, I'll come back in here with a K-Hall burger for lunch.
Yeah.
I'll run down there at lunchtime.
And you just do this by yourself and don't tell anybody about it?
Yeah.
You don't tell anybody before you go or anything like that?
Don't offer anything.
I think
next time.
I think we need to have a podcast Ohio Club trip. One of these times we're down in Hot Springs.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. We can do that.
That works for me. We go get a cheeseburger.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, that wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast and taking the time to watch and listen.
Yeah. Remember, you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook and YouTube, and listen to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts.
Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown.
And I'm John McMahon.
And we will see you next week.